Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Slayer Talk, where we talk about Slayer slaying. Sometimes they're slaying people that don't need slaying. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my wife, Carol. How are you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
How much? It's been a good week here. It is February 16th, 1999.
It is.
Wow.
I was going to ask if people had a good Valentine's Day and talk about our Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And then came out of my mouth because I was thinking about Valentine's Day.
Carol has the inability to think of two different things at the same time, so.
Have you ever been typing something and then thought about something else and then typed what you were thinking of instead of what you meant to type?
No.
It happens to me all the time.
Not one time does that happen. No, actually, I have had instances where I've been writing or whatever. I guess maybe typing too, but where I've been writing by hand, and then I start writing what I'm thinking of instead of. But that I always kind of thought that was like a writer's thing, but it happens to you too, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought it was an ADHD thing, but yeah.
Wow. I don't even know if I know exactly what that is. Is that like ADD?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Wow. The look of derision. If you guys could see, you're like, yeah, you don't read all the books that I read. You don't know. Yeah, not everybody reads. Not everyone has copies of the DSM-4 or whatever the fuck it's called by their bedside like you do. Sorry.
It's okay, honey.
Is that what it is?
You.
DSM?
It is the DSM, but
Okay.
it's, I think, DSM-3.
All right, whatever.
And I don't freaking sleep with it like a Bible or something.
Can I ask you a question? If
Yeah.
I started reading DSM-3, would I be lost because I haven't read DSMs 1 and 2? I did it! I did the joke, everyone.
Diagnostic and Statistical Manual,
Cool.
just so everybody knows.
Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. That's the one where they have to save the rec center, right?
What?
The diagnostic people have to save the rec center.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the plot of Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Okay.
Anyway, we didn't watch Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
No.
We watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Consequences.
Yes.
Because there are some consequences in this episode, but are there?
This is This is a crazy episode. There's so much going on in this episode.
There's a lot going on. Buffy's drowning at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, she's having a nightmare.
She's having a dream where she's drowning. Most of the time, where I have dreams that involve like water and drowning and stuff like that, I wake up wet. But you know,
Oh no. I hope that's not a problem.
sex with mermaids.
Because we do share a bed. I don't think
Nocturnal
that would be
emissions,
nice. Okay.
That's
yeah.
what I'm referring to.
That's so gross. That's more gross than if you were talking about peeing the bed.
Can I admit something
I don't know.
here on air for
you?
all of you
Sure you can.
that I have never admitted to anyone before because I always felt like a fucking freak, right? I've never had a nocturnal emission.
Really?
Not once.
Huh.
And I heard guys talk about it. Never happened to me.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if I just started masturbating early or what.
Wow.
Well, it happens because of a buildup of that, right? And that's why it happens, I think.
I mean, that can be part of it, sure.
But I've never had one in my life. I hear people talking about it all the time, and I was just like, oh no, something's wrong with me. Because you know how teenagers are. They think if something isn't exactly perfect or whatever, they think something's wrong with them all the time.
I don't know that I'd consider nocturnal emissions perfect, but sure.
Well, it's a normal thing that's supposed to happen. They told us in health class, and you know, friends would talk about it and stuff like that sometimes, and it seemed like everyone's it's a party. Everyone's having nocturnal emission.
So you were just on top of the job, you think?
I don't know.
You kept those pipes clean.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't necessarily super young when I started doing that, so I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe my guys are just patient.
I guess so.
Anyway, you know who's not patient? Our listeners. Let's talk about the episode.
Yes. So yeah, Buffy is having nightmares about drowning and the mayor's guy they killed and Faith.
Yeah. Faith's trying to kill her too.
Yeah.
In her dream.
Sounds about right. I mean,
well, and I understand like she died by drowning, and then she was almost drowned again in the last episode. So I get why that would be a nightmare she'd go to.
Yeah, I feel like that was a nice touch actually.
And also, she threw the mayor, like Faye threw the mayor in the water. She said she logged the body down or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so in her dream, the mayor's assistant's trying to pull her down with him, and she breaks free. But then Faye's like, "No, fucking get down there."
Yeah, well, I can see that now. Faith's kind of a bitch. Monster, maybe even.
Something's happening with her. And
she's not okay.
What it is ain't exactly clear, but there was a man with a gun over there.
Geez.
What?
I know that song. You're not going to trick me this time. What?
What's that sound?
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear.
Oh no, we're in Vietnam.
I know that song. I don't know the name of the song, but I know that song.
Every time that song plays, you're transported to Vietnam. So they play that in all the Vietnam songs. It's called "For What It's Worth" by Buffalo Springfield.
Is it about Vietnam?
Yes.
Really?
There's a man with a gun over there telling me I've got to beware. Mm-hmm. Stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody, look what's going down. Mm-hmm. I think it's about. I said that so confidently, but I think it's about. It's about the Kent State Massacre, maybe, I think, which was a Vietnam War protest. It's tied to Vietnam, I think, very closely.
Okay.
I think it's more. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'd have to talk to the members of Buffalo Springfield. Late fee 1994 at AOL.com if you're a member of Buffalo Springfield. But, yeah, I think it's more about the home protests and stuff.
Okay.
Because, there's that, like, 1,000 people in the street,
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why I didn't think it was Vietnam. But that makes sense.
Mostly saying hooray for our side,
Yeah, all right.
I think it's about the protests and stuff. Anyway, good.
So, I don't remember, like, exactly where we go from this, but Faith is, like, totally unwound.
She is. She was all wound up, and now she's unwound. Though they find the body. The first thing that happens is, I guess the inciting incident is they find the body. Faith was supposed to have, like, disposed of it.
She did. She just did it poorly.
Yeah, they're never going to find it or whatever. But the first thing we see after this nightmare is Buffy's mom watching the news. And they're like, oh, hey, did you see they fucking found this body in the water?
Yeah. So Buffy and Faith are, talking about, what to do, debating back and forth. Buffy's like, we should tell Giles. Faith is like, fuck you.
Right.
And Buffy gives in, but then is talking to Willow later.
Yeah.
And decides that she should tell.
Exactly. You got it. You look so pleased with yourself. Do you remember that sequence of events? That's correct.
I am proud of myself. It's not easy to remember all the things.
Not easy to remember something that we just watched.
Correct. My brain is not right, all right?
That's all right. Yeah, so they go into school, and then that replacement watcher, whatever his name is, Charles Wyndham Samuel Coleridge III.
Sure.
Davis Love the Third. He's a golfer. Anyway, so that guy, he's like, hey, why don't you investigate? And Giles is like, they don't need to do that. I mean,
it's a human matter.
It's probably a human murder. Why would he think it's anything but a human murder?
Yeah, and he's just like, well, I don't care. I want them to. And then it becomes like a power pissing contest.
So they're like, yeah, Faith's all like, yeah, we'll investigate, sure, because, it's pretty easy.
Whatever. Yeah.
Pretty easy to investigate yourself.
Yeah.
We didn't do it. So then they go to the mayor's office. And when they go to the mayor's office, they discover the mayor and Mr. Trick together.
And is this when the mayor finds out he's indestructible? Or was that last episode? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's one thing that I don't understand, because later so they go to the assistant mayor's office. They're looking for evidence. Hey, why was this guy here? Was he trying to tell us something or whatever? All his papers have been shredded, which we kind of saw in the first scene, is that the mayor was shredding papers, and he's like, oh, this usually brings a smile to my face, but my Alan's gone. And then later, Mr. Trick and the mayor see on their closed circuit television that Buffy and Faith were there, and he's like, what the fuck, kill these two. Why don't you kill them?
True. Why are they watching the footage of their closed circuit television or whatever?
I don't remember why.
That's weird. But agreed, yes.
I think they noticed like something was amiss in the office or something. I don't know, but yeah. They're like, all of a sudden he's like, look, here's my favorite part, Mr. Trick, where they overhear us talking and we know that they know I'm evil now.
Yeah, I agree, though. He should do his own dirty business since he's indestructible.
Yeah, I mean, he's Captain Scarlet over here.
Does he have any other powers? Or is he just indestructible?
I don't know. He has the power to be sliced in half and then come back together.
Yeah, it looks like the Terminator.
It does.
Or Terminator 2?
The liquid metal, yeah.
Oh, it's kind of cool.
He's liquid metal. But, yeah, I don't understand why he doesn't do that.
So everybody's kind of talking about what to do to help Faith because she's...
Yeah, so a lot of what happens in this episode is tied into Faith and Faith's psychology. Mm-hmm. They're talking a lot about... Because when she... Oh, yeah.
What?
We skipped a part that we can't skip over.
Okay.
Because this ties into the this too, where Buffy, like you were talking about, Buffy's having a conversation with Willow, and she basically like kind of breaks down and is like, Will, listen, look what happened. This fucking shit. Mm-hmm. And she was like, well, you got to tell Giles. And she's like, yeah, I guess I do. You know, I feel bad because I don't want Faith to go to jail. So she goes to tell Giles, but who's already there coming out of the office?
Yeah, Faith, who threw her under the fucking bus and says that Buffy killed the guy.
Yep. And then
what a psychotic hose beast.
And I'm sitting there shouting at our TV, and I'm like, how the fuck can Giles believe this woman?
Yeah.
Over Buffy, who he has much more history with. And because he's like, Buffy, get in my fucking office right now.
She's like, but I didn't.
Yeah, she's never seemed more like a little kid than now. She's really good. Like, Sarah Michelle Gellar is, I mean, I guess it's maybe long overdue to say she's really good, but like, she's probably, I don't know exactly how old she is, but she's probably like early 20s, 20 to 25, something like that. And she really is very good at playing a very convincing 17-year-old girl, lost and afraid, and someone who is like in control and tough and badass when she needs to be. It's a dichotomy of characterization. She does it really, really well. She
does. And if you've ever seen an interview with her, you would see it's even more impressive because her real life persona is like a valley girl.
I was going to say, she's just like...
Yeah.
Like all bubbly.
Yeah, she's like sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
And then she just turns into Buffy. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. She does a great job. But yeah, she's very much like, but I didn't know it, you know, kind of. But more endearing than I just did. So she goes in there and Giles comes in and she's like, Giles, he's like, I know it was Faith, yeah. And so like that instantly quelled my anger that he would believe this newcomer over Buffy because he's like, yeah, I know. She's not a good liar. I figured it out, Buffy.
Exactly.
And he's like, so here's the thing. Slayers have killed people before. It happens. You're out there fighting vampires and, you know, every once in a while a person's going to get in the way. Like, you know, and usually it's not that big of a deal.
Which, you know, that does make sense. It's just like when you're in war, like there's civilian casualties.
Yeah, you should try to mitigate it as much as you possibly can, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it can happen on accident, especially when vampires look exactly like people when they want to. Mm-hmm. So he's like, but the problem is that she is in complete denial and she is not dealing with this psychologically. This is a very bad road for her to go down.
See, I don't agree with that, though. I don't think she's in denial. Like, it's like it makes it sound like she almost believes the lie, but she doesn't think Buffy did it. She knows she did it.
No, but I think his bigger point is that she doesn't want to accept responsibility for it.
And I don't think she wants to admit that it's affecting her in any way.
Right. And I think that's the denial part.
Yeah.
So then after that, he's like, we got to figure out how to reach her, you know. He's like, usually what would happen is the council would get involved and the council would be like, hey, we got to have a little investigation, make sure that this was all above board and stuff. It was really an accident, which it totally was, by the way. And then, you know, we can go from there. And usually it's not any big deal or whatever, is what Giles says. But he's like, but I'm not going to call the council. Which, why would he? He got fucking kicked off the council or whatever. But unfortunately, a little piss boy is listening to them.
Yeah, so the council still gets called. But in the meantime, Buffy is brainstorming with the gang about what to do to help Faith, which, like, that's awfully nice because she did, again, just try to throw Buffy under the bus. I'd say fuck her, who gives a shit, but whatever.
But Xander said, fuck her, I will.
Right. He's like, oh, you know, I'll go talk to her. And everybody's like, you? Like, what sense does that make? Yeah. Like, yeah, you don't even talk to her.
He's like, well, we have a connection of sorts. And they're like, what? It's like a docking procedure of a kind took place.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I think Willow was the first one to finally get it, that they slept together.
Yeah, but then everyone else is like, oh. Well, that's still probably not whatever.
Yeah. Buffy's like, no offense, she doesn't usually care much about the people she's made connections with.
Right,
whatever.
Yeah. And she's like, no offense, Xander, but like, she usually laughs at them behind their back and stuff. He's like, why would I take offense to that?
Yeah.
But Willow seems very stricken by to use a word you love, by the whole situation.
Yeah, and then we see her alone crying in the bathroom.
Which I don't get. So just a little peek behind the curtain, everybody. Every once in a while, Carol and I will have a conversation together that we don't record and release to the public.
It does. Yeah, that does happen.
So you seem to think that was... I was like, that's weird to me. She's with Ozymandias or whatever his name is now and everything. But you were like, no, that's pretty normal.
Yeah,
pretty
because
believable.
Women, especially teenage girls, want all the boys to want them. And she wants Xander to want her still. And the idea that he wants anybody else, even though she's with somebody else, is going to bother her. It's just the way women are built.
Interesting.
Like, you know, girls are going to fall prey to that thing more often, I think, than guys, where... like, they'll get jealous if they see, like, their ex with somebody or, you know, because they don't want to... They don't want them, but they don't want anybody else to have them.
Interesting. That is interesting insight into the female psyche.
So, yeah, to me, it makes perfect sense.
Did you read that in the DSM-3 or in Cosmo Part 2?
Yes. Cosmo has amazing information, by the way.
I know you read Cosmopolitan magazine a lot.
And the UK version as well.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Excellent. I read Maxim.
That's a decent magazine as well.
It is. It's pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, so Xander takes it upon himself, though, to be like, you know what? I think our connection was a little bit maybe deeper. Like I got a little bit farther in there than some others.
Which is ridiculous, because as soon as they were done, she shoved him out the door. He wasn't even dressed. She just handed him his clothes.
Yeah, like, obviously she doesn't care.
No.
He was a penis. Like, that's it. It's like, he could have been a doll.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure had he not been there, she would have been using her toy or whatever. Right. He was just convenient.
Yeah. But he goes to her and is like, hey, you know, so we know you killed this dude. And she's like, Buffy killed this guy. And he's like, yeah, okay. I heard that version. And he's like, so, you know, we should talk about this. We should, whatever. And she's like, oh, yeah, you want to talk? I know what you want.
Yeah, well, at first she wouldn't even fucking let him in. And then it's like she gets all scary once he's in there. Like, you can see something just shifted in her.
Yeah.
And then she
Well played by Elisa Dushku.
Yes, that's true. That was very good acting. But yeah, she throws him on the bed, straddles him, and she's acting like maybe they're going to have sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like she's being kind of flirty. She's like, I can do whatever I want to you.
Is that flirty when a woman throws you on the bed and straddles you? I've been flirted with a couple times.
Have you now?
Not recently.
Anyway.
The day before our wedding, but
Yeah, of course, that marriage thing just cuts off all the sex, right?
yep.
Whatever. Anyway. She starts fucking choking him out.
Exactly.
And not in the good way.
Did you see it in my eyes, or were you just, or we just were there on the same?
I think
page?
we were just there the same.
Wow.
Like I was really starting to be afraid for him, and then
I thought he was going to die.
and then Angel shows up out of nowhere. Like that really seems too convenient that Angel just happened to by.
Angel's been in the background of the episode, though. Like when the police are doing investigations, the police are like taking whatever, and he's flashing back to blood on Buffy's hands and stuff like that, and he's like lurking around there, and then like other people are talking about it, and he's lurking in the background. So it's like it's almost like he's doing an investigation that we
True.
don't get to see.
Yeah.
On like off screen or whatever. But yeah, he's like in the background of some of these things. So I think he's aware of the situation.
But he saves Xander and takes
By clobbering her with a baseball bat.
clobbering.
Yeah.
Interesting terminology.
Yeah. Rhymes with slobbering.
Ew. But then he drags her unconscious body back to his lair and ties her up with chains.
Layer.
And again, not in a good way. I mean, like that could be wholly kinky, but
Sure.
they use chains a lot in this show, and I don't
do.
feel like they use them properly.
Really? Yeah. Apparently I need to buy some chains.
But yeah, they have her chained up in, I don't know, what does he live in, a crypt?
I think it's a house. I think it's just like...
It was not a house.
Well, it's something. I don't know. It's where the one woman that wanted to like fucking kill him or whatever. Remember that episode? There was an episode where there was like a woman. She was taken over by a something,
No.
some kind of demon or something.
No
like
idea what you're talking about.
There was an episode a while ago.
But it's like all stone. There's a fireplace, you know, it's usually lit.
Yeah.
But like you can just like walk straight in from outside, and because it's like all stone and everything, I don't know. I feel like it's like a crypt or something.
Maybe it's
mausoleum.
something like that. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's
but-
his little hidey hole.
and he's talking to her. And she's acting like, I don't know, a fucking feral animal, basically. Kind of like he was.
Yeah, he's trying to get through to her. Basically say like, listen, Faith, I've killed people, you've killed people. They don't understand what it's like. All they've killed is monsters. It's like very easy to stab a vampire and be like, oh, it's a fucking monster or whatever. There's a demon. Like, I don't care. He's like, but we've killed actual human beings. And like, that affects you even if you want to act like it doesn't. And he's trying to have a conversation with her about it. And she's mostly being resistant to it.
And she's, you know, trying different ways to talk him into just letting her go.
Uh-huh.
Which, like, when he finally seemed to maybe be getting through to her, which I really don't think he was anyway.
Somebody says that, Buffy says that in the episode, like, Angel was starting to get through to her, and I'm like, maybe. Like, I don't know. I don't think, not to his fault or anything, I just don't think he had enough time.
Yeah. But then the council shows up. Because the guy had called them.
Little douchebag called him.
And they take her.
They throw fucking, like, I don't know, crosses and like a net around Angel, and then
And they just leave him like that, too.
they grab her and arrest her.
I guess we should be glad that they just left him like that, though, because really it's like a vampire killer council. Like,
Right.
They could have just killed him.
For sure.
But yeah, they take her. They're like, you're going to, you know, come with us and be tried and whatever. You're going to be under arrest. And they don't get very far.
No, because she just beats the shit out of all of them and says, let me go or I'll kill you, to the one guy, which he lets her go.
Smart.
And she's like, I'm fucking out of Sunnydale. I'm going to get on a boat. And then Buffy tracks her down. and is like, Buffy's the one that's like, I should be able to get through to you or whatever. And they talk, and that's when Faith is like, no, fuck this. Like, she's using that whole, like, want, take, have philosophy with everything now. And she's like, we're better than them. We're more evolved. We should be able to kill them. She's talking like I've heard evil vampires talk in... I don't know if in this show necessarily, but in vampire fiction in general.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we're more evolved. We're a better species.
We're above humans.
Yeah, they're like cattle to us, so fuck them. We can kill them if we want.
Yeah, it's no good. No bueno.
So she's like, you should come with me or whatever. And they fight, and then Buffy actually hits her. Mm-hmm. But before they can have a full-on fight, Mr. Trick and his gaggle of vampires.
His gaggle. Wow, you got like the thesaurus out for this one.
That's what you call a group of vampires, right? A gaggle.
Sure.
What would you call them? I don't know. A sleuth.
I don't know. How about a murder?
A pride of
like ravens or whatever.
Murder's pretty good.
Or crows.
Yeah, crows are a murder. Yeah. Ravens are a rookery, I believe.
You know weird things.
Yeah. It's probably a pack, right? No, it should. I think you're right. It should be pack of werewolves, obviously, and I think it should be a murder of vampires. Yeah. Anyway, so what's a group of bats called? That a roost?
Sure, that sounds right.
So that it might be a roost of vampires.
Okay.
Anyway, so they start fighting them, and Mr. Trick grabs Buffy, and he's like, here comes the fangs, and he's about to bite and kill her.
Again.
When Faith intervenes and stabs him and obliterates Mr. Trick. So that very, very brief background character that seemed like he was going to be this big bad thing is dead.
But Buffy keeps ending up almost dying, like, a lot, and I feel like they're making her character weaker than she should be.
Oh, I agree.
Like, she should be able to handle Mr. Trick.
But they want to avoid the Superman problem. They want her to be... They want her to still be able to be in danger.
Sure.
Because otherwise there's no tension.
And they want Angel to save her, too.
Right. But I do think sometimes she gets saved too much. I agree with that. She should do more of the saving.
But so Faith is just like, whatever, we're even, I'm taking off.
Yeah, I'm leaving. So that's kind of where the episode ends almost. Except
almost.
There is an addendum.
Guess where Faith goes? Not out of town.
No, she goes right into town.
And knocks on the mayor's door.
And says, hey, I killed fucking Trick. Heard you got an opening.
Yeah.
I've killed both of your assistants.
So you may as well just hire me.
Right. And then she's like, oh, I'm coming to my office.
It's crazy.
And that's where it ends.
So she's a turncoat. Now, I have a suspicion that she's actually going to end up helping them from the inside to try to redeem herself.
Was that suspicion based on what I said when the episode was over? Where I think maybe she was going to be a double agent?
Oh, no. I didn't remember you said that.
I did say that.
Okay, fine. So you and I had the same idea. You said yours first. Congratulations. You get a cookie.
No. You said it first on air. That's all that counts.
You get the cookie.
Oh, do I? Mm-hmm. Is that I'll get the chains. But anyway, that is the episode. That's how it goes. That's how it ends.
It is. So we'll see what happens with Faith next.
Yeah. Tell the people where to buy their own chains.
So you can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
Yes.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com and share the tapes with your friends.
A pod of vampires. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.